Good morning, everyone. Welcome in yet again. I'm not at home this time, in the office. Go live on Instagram here in a second. Start it over there. All right, we're now live on Instagram, live on YouTube. Hope everyone's doing good. As we wait for some people to roll in here, hopefully y'all can both hear me. I'm using AirPods, which I'm hoping is not trying to connect to my phone and to my computer at the same time because that's just going to cause all kinds of problems. Um, but while people are rolling in some disc releases this week, I know for sure we're going to have a bunch of trilogy going up. Um, so trilogy restock will be happening. I think farther or more discraft restock will be going on. And I don't think the new inner cores dropped last week, which makes me think they're going to drop this week. So lot of fun stuff. Everyone can hear me. Perfect. A lot of fun stuff going on. Last night we had our putting punishment live stream, which was a huge success. It's actually about to hit 50,000 viewers total on YouTube, which is crazy. Um, I am not sore. I'm feeling okay. My legs are a little tight. But Trevor was there till 9. He had to get 2,000 putts made. So he's definitely feeling it a little bit more, but none of us are in shambles. None of us are in shambles. It's definitely we're progressively more sore, me, Connor, Trevor, but none of us are like we're probably in better shape than y'all would think after what you witnessed last night. Because I mean, at one point I thought Connor might die. I was starting to consider, do I need to call someone to go save the man? But hey, we're all here. We're all feeling better. We're all feeling good. Got to shoot 2 videos today, so we'll really see how we're feeling at that point. We are in the new space. I won't typically be streaming from here, but I'm not on debate night tonight, so I came in at a normal time, and so I just set up my webcam to stream in here. You can tell, actually, you can't tell Instagram, YouTube. You can tell I'm still unboxing, setting some stuff up, but yeah, it's exciting. The media offices are fully moved in and we're operational back here, but we still have a bunch of like setup to do. And then the retail store has officially started moving. Um, so that process has begun. A lot of stuff's moved in, but the rest of this week's a lot of like just set up and getting stuff together. Um, but with that being said, I wanted to highlight the putting punishment live stream last night. A, in case you didn't see it. B, to reiterate our farther like dedication to doing more live streams. Especially, I think the punishment live streams are a fun twist to videos because you kind of get to be a part of it from start to finish. You get to watch how we got to the point, and then you get to watch our pain through the punishment, which is awesome. And it seems to be well received. And then we also just want to do more live streams because they're just fun community engagement events in general. So I wanted to highlight that. Another big thing, and this I'm super stoked for, it was kind of our goal to get here. At some point, we didn't know how long it would take us to get here, but foundation care is now included on every purchase in the USA. So all United States purchases of discs are now covered by foundation care. The only caveat of that is like used when we do like used mystery boxes or the certified used discs, those aren't covered. But any new disc you buy on foundationdiscs.com, you don't have to do anything special. Foundation care is included, meaning when you buy that disc, you have 30 days to try it out however you want. Um, you can use it, let your friends use it, play a few rounds with it, whatever. And if for some reason, whatever reason, it doesn't fill what you wanted it to, it doesn't fill that slot in your bag, you don't like the feel of it, whatever, you just fill out the form on the site. You scroll to the bottom of the site, there's a little foundation care form button. You click that, fill it out, and then we'll be in touch. We'll send you the shipping label to send it back to us and then get it worked out with what new disc you're exchanging it for. So, super, super excited about that. Like I said, that was kind of the end goal. We had to do a lot of research on like, is it feasible? What exactly do we need to do to make it happen? And it's here. It's officially live. So it started on Monday. Was the first day that coverage is available. So if you're shopping at foundationdisc.com, just another hopeful value add to separate us a little bit, and it makes it great if you're looking to buy a disc you've never thrown before. Then that's another reason to do it with us. So hopefully you choose to shop with us. But Yeah, we're super stoked about that. The reception in the multiple different phases, because Foundation Care launched originally, it was a $2 per disc coverage. And that was kind of the test phase so that we could get as much data as we could. And then we tested it farther once we felt comfortable with all of it. We tested it farther with January. We did a 30-day test where it was included, and then we waited to make sure we had all the data and made sure that, again, it made logical sense, business sense, because we knew it made sense for the end consumer, and that was why we really wanted to do it, was because oh, this is a good question. Does foundation care apply to in-store purchases too? Yes. So when you're in store, though, you do need to have a customer profile. So in-store purchases, you have to have a customer profile. That way we can look it back up and verify your purchase. Online, we can verify your purchase. You'll have an order number. So that's the only caveat in person, but it does apply to in person as well. So we knew it'd be good for the customer. We just had to make sure that the sacrifices on the back end were going to be worth it. Um, and it all makes sense. So we're stoked to launch that officially. Yesterday was the first kind of launch of it. And like I said, you don't have to do anything special. Just shopping with us, US only right now. And that's all. So super excited about that. Um, Hunter Kyle said foundation care is a good excuse to try. Looking for a hyzer flip 7 speed around 325 max distance. Crave slash river aren't flippy enough, but I don't want something like an it. So a little bit flippier than a river, but not quite to it level. 7 speed. Man, a heat could be an okay option. It might be too flippy, but a heat would be kind of close to what you're looking for there. A Maverick. A Maverick is probably the disc for you. We actually should have some Mavericks hitting the site this week as well, but I think a Maverick could be it. Brave's a good option. I don't know if we have any Brave. Yeah, we have Braves hitting the site this week as well, so that's all part of the trilogy restock. So now with that, people were asking about the in person, shopping in person as well. The grand reopening of our Lynchburg store is happening April 12th, which is Friday, just a few days away. So we've officially started the moving process of the retail store over, and the setup. A bulk of the setup is going to be done today, I believe, and then we'll just have kind of the final details and try to make it look pretty. I did get a notification. So we bought an impact screen, right, for people to like throw into in the store when like for tech disc and stuff. Originally was supposed to be here by April 5th. Got a notification was going to be here April 11th. Not the end of the world. Still going to be fine. But then this morning, I woke up to a notification that we had gotten refunded for that. But then when I go on to Amazon, I still see the order. So most likely no impact screen for the grand opening, which sucks because then you're just going to walk into a blank wall. But hey, not everything is always going to be perfect. So is what it is. Hopefully we can figure it out before then, but we'll figure that out. But then the Bogey Bros versus the Nation event still has some spots left. That's at 12 p.m. Um, on Friday, so you can sign up on foundationdisc.com, and then the grand openings at 5 p.m. on Friday. So if you're anywhere close to the area, make plans to be here April 12th. Super stoked about that. And yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So now that enough people have rolled in, we've given you some updates on the back end. I want some feedback, and I actually need to get my notebook so I can write down the feedback. Um, I want some feedback because we are looking at, we're going to be redesigning our product pages. I think I talked about this a little bit last week. And I want some feedback on what you all are looking for when um, when you're going onto our store. Because my end goal is I want more information on the product pages. So like in the description without affecting, getting a phone call here. Okay. Instagram, hopefully we're back. Let me text and just explain that I'm live. It'll call back in a second. Message send failure. Sick. Okay. Anyways, hopefully y'all can hear me again. Um, anyways, so with the product pages, I already see someone coming in here. or some comments coming in. But with the product pages and goals, I want to provide more information without affecting the customer experience. I want y'all to still be able to shop the site the same way you do, all of that. But when you get to the product page, be able to have more of your questions about the discs answered, um, without affecting it too much or providing too much information. I also want to have a lot of questions we get are about like plastic feel, and like how the different plastics affect the flight and stuff like that. So I definitely want to add some of that to the different product pages too, where you can like have a tab and it like all the plastics that Discraft Buzz is available in and like what that does to the flight. I think that would be good. But when you're going to a product page, what is like information you always wish were there, or at least on our site? Maybe if it's on a different site, that's fine. But on our site, what's something that you're like, dang, I wish you did blah blah blah. I can't promise we're gonna do all of them, but at least we can get some good feedback. I think a few people have said this, which is to hide out of stock discs Um, when searching, that's kind of a tough one because right now we have a back end program that inside of our collection pushes the out of stock products to the bottom. But when you're searching, then the out of stock disc will still show up. But we can look at that because I can see where that would be frustrating, or at least make it more clear when a product is out of stock. Like we might be able to change the user or the look of like what says out of stock. Out of stock hidden. Because I don't know. Only other thought with that is, would we want when people are going to the site to see like if we carry a mold, but we're just out of stock and we're going to restock? Would we want it to look like that disc doesn't exist on our site? That could be an interesting one. Let's see. Test videos on product pages would be awesome. Yeah, so that's actually with our disc review channel. Every disc review we do, we try to embed it onto the product pages. The problem is we just don't do that many disc reviews right now. So yes, we want to do that, but we'll just continue that because I do think that's important. Uh, but it's a lot of work, obviously. Um, Separation of plastic types, good one. Oh, if it glows, how much it glows. I think that could definitely go into like product, the like plastic descriptions, like Eclipse, you can say how heavily it glows. These two, Glenn and Zach, back to back with comparison to discs from other. That could be so. My thought process. Let me see if I don't think I have a scrap piece of paper in here. All right, you're about to see my fantastic artistic abilities. So here's my thought process. Right, is we'll have like the product image. That's this. The name of product here. And then right below it'll be like the drop down, the buy button, and then like below it, it'll be like these different tabs. And then it'll have like the name above these. And when you click on one, then it'll have all this information. So this is kind of the like idea behind it here is you'll have like the picture of the product, the name of the product. This is the drop down as you currently go through, right? So it'll just say like all the information about the disc. And then each of these four, where like these X's are, will say like description of disc, plastic types. And that's where within plastic types, we can have, like Discraft Z plastic, how it feels, how it typically affects flight, blah, blah, blah. Then like the next one over could be one idea I had was like staff feedback on molds. So like you click on this and it's like what foundation thinks, and you click on it, it can be like Hunter loves the Quake because blah blah blah. Nate loves the Quake because blah blah blah. Brad loves the Quake because blah blah blah. So you can get like different skill levels of opinion on it. And then I like the idea of this fourth one being like comparison to other molds, or Nate also said realistic disc flight. So I think it could be like comparison could be a tab, and under that have like flies like a maverick from Dynamic Disc. Here's our flight chart for it, and like create the flight chart under it. So that could be, but that's kind of my idea. Is so it's all right here. When you go, you'll have your typical experience. If you don't click on anything else, you'll just have your normal product description. But then the next three are like, I want more information on X, Y, or Z, and you can just like click through it. That's how my it's going in my head. But I definitely think comparison to other discs is a big one. Comparison to other discs slash realistic flight. That could be big, yeah. Okay, let me see here. Let me scroll down a little bit, catch up. Well, label if a disc is a favorite of a foundation member. Philip, that's a great idea. Great idea. Favorite mold label. Okay, that could be. I like that. I like that. All right, let me get some ideas from Instagram here too. Been just pulling everything from YouTube for a little bit. Uh, okay, there wasn't any ideas on Instagram. Sick. Perfect. Staff member in the bag indicators. Yeah. So one thought process I have with that is we could go two different routes. I think we definitely included as one of these like tabs is like um what like foundation staff members think of the disc, but then I think we could also on the like disc page on the left there's like these like can sort by on our site. I don't have I'm using my phone. I was gonna show you. You can like sort by on the site. So I think on there we could have you can sort by different people's bags instead of having to be like a full collection. Um, that could be a good idea. But okay, it feels like we're on the same page. It feels like we're kind of on the right track. So I like all these recommendations. So my plan is this week I'm going to build out an official page for the subscription box. So that people can get more information from that for that. And then I'm gonna just start with the most popular discs and just work my way down, like the discs that get the most traffic. Um, and so we'll slowly roll it out because it's gonna take a while to do it to every single disc. But we'll just kind of slowly roll it out. So the first one I'll probably test a lot of this on will be our most popular disc mold, which is the zone. Um, so probably next week I'll have some type of version of this up. So if you want to see some of the ideas, you can kind of check on the zone next week. And hopefully I'll give you all another update on here. But okay, appreciate the feedback. Let's answer some questions. If y'all have any questions about business, disc golf, running, whatever you might have, fire away. Disc recommendations, like I think it was Hunter earlier. Was that his name? I forget his name, who, with foundation care, great time if you're looking for a new disc to pick a new one up. M. Kent said, what's my favorite Pro Tour tournament? Not a Pro Tour, but a major, USDGC. If I have to choose a Pro Tour event, it's a great question. For some reason, Idlewild. I think it's because I played that course a few times, and so I like when I know what I'm capable of on a course, and then watching pros destroy that. I like that. Braden said, when we get information about the Bogey Bros versus the Nation battle for those of us that have signed up? Hopefully tomorrow we'll have like an official full information going out. We have the course not fully confirmed. We don't have to close the course down for by any means, because there's only gonna be like 20 of us out there. But we do want to at least get permission from the Parks and Rec department, and we're trying to use Timbrook this year instead of a Bedford course. A Bedford course will be our fallback plan because Bedford is super easy to work with. So we're just waiting for the like final thumbs up from them because I don't want to tell y'all a course location and then have to pivot on it. So that's why we haven't like sent the email out. But as soon as we have that, which hopefully we'll know today, then we'll get an email out to everyone who signed up. So bag a lot of Discraft, that's just because I know their lineup. Some sort of recommend if you like for the Discraft molds I already understand. Obviously, not only for Discraft, that's just the one I know. Yeah, I think that kind of falls into the like comparison of other molds because then if you like click on uh Cicada, it can be like fly similar to, and then have the Maverick in there, have the River in there. The Cicada is a tricky one. I just don't know why I picked it because it sometimes flies like an FD and sometimes flies flippy, but you could have like those in there, and then vice versa. Cross recommend like that. Um, Bill said, "I wish there was different options for subscription boxes based on arm speed. Bought one, got a destroyer, way too much disc for me." We've thought about it. It's just really really hard to implement because I like the idea of like you could choose, and maybe it's a different product. Maybe that's why it's been so hard to implement. Maybe it's a different product of where you can like set parameters of I only throw Discraft MVP and Innova, and my max distance 325. Build me a box. Maybe that's just a different product we have to build out because that was kind of the original idea when we started it. Is we wanted to get it there, but then as we created and started curating the box, we pivoted it, and I really like the direction it's going. But that is the one problem: is not every disc in every box is going to fit everyone's game. It just kind of is what it is. Let me see if there's any I've missed on Instagram. Doesn't look like it. Disc recommendation: lightweight, overstable for windy days, 10 speed max. I think you're looking for two different things. Because if you want a lightweight disc, I wouldn't recommend throwing it on windy days. Because that's like wind is going to body a lightweight disc. So, what I would do is, if you want something that's like a 10 speed max, overstable for windy days, but based on you saying lightweight, I'm assuming you don't have the arm speed for like a Firebird. Here's a little sneak peek of one of the exclusive stamps dropping at our grand opening, by the way. Pretty sick, if I do say so myself. Um, if you don't have the arm speed for something like a Firebird, then a Thunderbird could work really well for you. It's a 9 speed, and it'll fly more like a Firebird for people who don't have as much arm speed. So that could be a really good option there. And you can sometimes find lightweight ones, but I would avoid it for windy days. That's a Firebird, to sick Halo. It is. I called her Pink Lemonade. My nickname for her. Just picked it up. Very excited to throw it. Tony Lane said, "Any recommendations for a Clash driving putter? Would like to try their plastic." I really like the Fudge. It's a beaded putter, so you have to factor that in if you don't like beaded. But it comes in most of their plastics, and it's nice, consistent, has enough glide that it'll fly good for you, but has a little bit of overstability. Flies kind of like a PA3, to be honest with you. So I'd go with the Fudge. Really fun. Let's see. Zach said, "Thoughts on a par three? Where did that go? DGPT stop or maybe just one round at a par three course?" I don't love it just because I don't think so. There's a weekly here, okay, on Thursdays, and when I got into the sport, I played it every week. I haven't been able to play it in a while. Just life gets busy. Um, but it's at our local like pitch and putt par three course, and the most frustrating thing of all time is playing in that weekly when you are trying to be a like competitive player. Because if I went there now, I'd have a blast because everyone could win, anyone can win. But that's the most frustrating part is like when you when I was like playing in college, I was at my best disc golf skill I've hit. Then I would go play that weekly. What was frustrating is people who I would beat by like 10 plus strokes in a tournament on the weekend would beat me at this weekly because it being par three lowers the skill gap. It closes the skills gap. So it doesn't reward really consistent, really talented players. It instead rewards just the lower half of the field now has a chance to compete. Does it create a more exciting finish? Sure, but are we missing that in MPO right now? No, I don't think we are. I mean, there's enough guys at that high part that like I don't think that like, if there was a par 3 pitch and putt on the Pro Tour, it would just be a Mickey Mouse tournament. Like, you would just it wouldn't have the same weight. So, I don't like it. I wouldn't like it. Luckily, there's not really one. So, JM Sven DG says, "What coffee grinder do you use?" I use, Encore, I believe is the name. Yes, Encore. Is it Baratza that makes it? I don't know who makes it, but Encore. But the key is you want to use a burr grinder, not a blade grinder. If you use a burr grinder, you're gonna be fine. Blade grinders aren't consistent. So, uh, Tanner Millison said, "Would that upset the manufacturers if it seems like you're steering sales away from them to other companies?" I mean, every retailer in, major like Dick's Sporting Goods has recommendations to other products because as much as, like, if you went to we'll use Discraft and Innova, right? If I went to Discraft and I was thinking about buying a heat and it said similar disc as a Leopard and you clicked over and you bought a Leopard, well, when you click on the Leopard, it's going to be recommending you to a heat. So for every person that goes from a heat to a Leopard would also go from a Leopard to a heat. At the end of the day, the manufacturers are the ones kind of like marketing it and trying to get, and they've already made their sale to us. So as long as we're still buying from them, I wouldn't think that would upset them. But if it did upset someone, then that could just be a conversation of maybe it wouldn't be like if it upset MVP, then it just wouldn't be on MVP products, and that wouldn't be a big deal. But yeah, I don't think that I don't. I would be surprised if that messed anything up. The Encore is a great option for the price point. Yeah, the Encore is phenomenal. Phenomenal, phenomenal. I actually don't know what I'm drinking today. I just walked over to my brother's coffee shop and just got their drip. So it's good. Tastes like I think it's a blend, but I don't know. It's good. Michael Kern says, "Gotta love hitting first available on the first shot, and then player B parks the hole." Yeah, it always. I mean, player B is like 10, 20 rated. Tavi Palu said, "Could you rate disc golf shoes you've used over the years?" I would be more than happy to. I am not a typical, so like, um, I have bad ankles historically, really bad ankles. And so I actually like in high school had to have orthotics to even like play basketball and stuff because I needed arch support because I just have I guess weak feet. I don't know what it is, but also my feet are different, my legs are different lengths, bunch of different problems with me. Don't worry about it though. But so I always needed like extra arch support and stuff like that. So that's why the for me personally to like idio shoes um and the different like zero drop low support type shoes don't work for me. But there's a lot of science as to why those would work for your everyday like normal people. I just have weird feet, so for me that's always been a like requirement is I try to find like I always go trail running shoes. I want ones with good cushion and good support. Um, and it is a something where like if I wore the Idio shoes, for example, or like those Vivo Barefoot or any of those like more lower support type shoes for a while, my feet would build up strength and I'd be fine. But I'm actively running and training for races. And so I don't want to go through the process of hurting my feet to get myself better while I'm actively trying to train. So therefore, I don't go through the process of strengthening my feet, even though it would be better for me in the long run. So keep that in mind. Because so for me, the Idio shoes are on the bottom for me. But again, that's the whole preface behind before that is they just didn't have enough support. Next up were the Adidas, like the original, what were they? Adidas Terrex's Swifts, I think, the original ones that Paul wore. Um, they were kind of garbage after I started wearing other ones because they're so rigid, so rigid. Then I went up to the ones I wore for a while, which I don't remember the name of them, but it was just Adidas Terrex, like a trail running shoe with Gore-Tex that had way more, like really good support, felt like a normal shoe, but it was still kind of stiff. And then I don't know what I wore all in between, but what I'm rocking right now are these Nike Trail Pegasus. They're Gore-Tex, like the tread on them. They have a like typical, they're like the Nike Pegasus um, running shoe, really comfortable. They're the best ones I've worn so far for me and for my feet. There's just a jackhammer going on somewhere, so, that's fun. I mean, what the heck is that? Like, imagine if we were filming Grip Lock right now. That'd be brutal. Um, yeah, what is that? They're building out the spaces next to us, so, there's some serious amount of construction going on. Jeez. Okay. Shay Stevens says, "Was the putting punishment actually your secret plan to be indoors during the eclipse in case the end of day started?" If I don't think being indoors would have changed anything. If you're gonna be raptured, you're raptured inside or outside. I mean, but where my computer's vibrating. Where is this coming from? I'm sure y'all can hear it. Sure, you can still hear very clearly. Okay, can you hear that or me very clearly? Goodness. Um, Do you think it's worth adding resources for new players, like a page on the site recommending beginner-friendly discs? It would be good to have like a beginner-friendly label. We do that in store, but it would be good on the site too to have like beginner-friendly labels. I mean, what could they possibly be doing? That's crazy. That's just crazy. It keeps getting louder. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it's the. I wonder if they're putting the slat walls up. It might be Brad and Jason putting the slat walls up. Okay. Do you feel like putting that much helped your putt? I personally lost my putt and can't seem to get it back. I don't think so. I intentionally didn't use anywhere close to my like normal putting because I was worried about it breaking my putt, and I was like, if I just like spin it here, like it can't break my putt if it's not my putt. So it can't break my putt if it's not my putt was my thought process. So that's why I just like did this like spinny putt. But we'll see. We'll find out today when we go to film if it broke my putt. Hopefully not. I don't know what's going on with this. Like it feels so close. I don't know if it's a firehouse, maybe. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Next down the line. Okay. Shay Stevens said, "Are putter packs something you could do, like 5 or 10 stack options?" We've thought about that. It's definitely something we could do, and I'm not gonna say we would never do it in the future. We actually probably will do it at some point. The tough part is just having you have to have enough in stock that you can like pull 10 out for a 10 pack or 5 out for a 5 pack. I don't think our back end actually they might have we might be able to do it now. I feel like I remember towards the end of last year finding a solution to that and we were going to do it and then we got caught up with something and we forgot. Because I think there's a way that the toughest part with it is just inventory. Because like, do you commit inventory to the putter packs, or you need to find a way to sync two products to where when like someone buys a five focus putter pack, it pulls 5 focuses out of stock. You know what I mean? That's the hard part. So maybe not sure. Let me see. Let me. I'm just writing on the side here. Putter packs? Question mark. Oh, okay. Have I messed with the inner core and Dune much? Thoughts if so, Braden said. I threw the Dune for a while, really liked the mold. I thought it flew great. The inner core, I never threw a ton. Um, Personally, their newest plastic, their ice plastic, I like. It's fine. Their baseline plastic is great. I don't like their original premium plastic. It's again just not for me. It's slicker than my preference. So that's why I just never stuck in my bag. But if they come out with the Dune and their new ice plastic, I can get behind that. I haven't tried any off their new machine yet either, though. So their new machine could be spitting out some other stuff. Um, Is Trevor alive today? Did he drag his arm into work? Trevor's alive, and he's doing better than you would think. He's doing good. Big Five said AB wears Nike Air Max. He said if he changes his shoes, he'll mess up his form. That's funny. Discs MD said came to the physical store for the first time a couple weeks ago. We were running out the doors. I was coming in. Oh, hopefully we got to say hi to you. Any thoughts of putting more foundation specific stamped discs in the shop? Is that something that works for the new space? Yes. So that was actually we did a like similar feedback stream several weeks ago, and that was a consistent feedback is like more custom stamps. So that's why like this up front is only going to be available in store. We have some foundation Lynchburg stamp stuff that's going to be in store only, and we'll have some more like in store only type discs. So when you're coming, or at least if we have a stamp online, have a lot of them in store too. So when people are coming through, especially if you get closer to Worlds, if people are coming through, you'll always be able to get the foundation disc, foundation stamp disc, foundation apparel, foundation hats, all that stuff in store. That was a very common piece of feedback we definitely are listening to. This Smith said, "Love the putting punishment. Big props following through on it." Yeah, we always try to stick to our punishments. And I'm be straight with you, it was a good time. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I don't know if the other two would echo that, but for me, it's fun. Just got new inner core off their machine. It's not bad. I like it. The Dune is from 1023, so not sure that was the machine. The mold itself's great. Yeah, the mold's fantastic. The mold's great. But what could possibly be going on right now? Did we guilt Brody into doing the punishment at all, or that was all on him? That was all on Brody. Yeah, Brody just like saw that we were doing it, and then was like, "Oh, I wonder if I could get to 1,000 before them." So, how did you guys feel during putting with Brody chasing you down? Did it motivate you more? I wasn't a part of that, but I know towards the end, Connor and Trevor were like, it definitely put a little pep in their step to get Connor to 1,000. So the new inner core ice plastic from their new machine feels like a chalky, gummy champion. See, that sounds great to me. That sounds great to me. Someone was playing COD with the Sonos speaker turned to 90. Yeah, it's got to be something going on. I don't know what's happening. I'd love if you would check DMs to see my note. I will check DMs, Dawson. Not right now, obviously, but I will. For someone who has an arm speed that a C-line FD is straight to overstable, what would the S-line FD be straight to understable? So the S-line FD is definitely flippier. It matters drastically what color your C-line FD is, and I'm not the right person to remember what color's what. I think green's the most overstable, and I think purple's the flippiest with the C-line FD, but the S-line is definitely flippier. So blanket statement, if your C-line is straight to overstable, your S-line should at least be straight. I don't know straight to understable. For me, yeah, it went my C line is straight to overstable, S line straight to understable, but I think it matters a lot on your C line plastic. Kelly said, any chance of you carrying youth sizes on apparel? Print on demand, we can definitely do that. We probably should. Um, but in person or like us holding the inventory, the tough part is just there's not that much demand for youth sizes. Um, if y'all know of some demand for youth sizes, start hitting me up because then I'll see demand and we'll do it. But up to this point, um, we just don't have a ton of demand youth size wise. So that's why it hasn't happened yet. But print on demand is something I need to look into because I've never really thought about print on demand youth apparel, but that should be possible. Apparel. Great handwriting there. Okay, let's see. Anything else from Instagram over here? Will we have the DGA Tour Series discs? I would imagine we will. Yeah. New hat that Trev had on yesterday coming out soon. So we will have a limited amount of those available at the grand opening here. And then based on feedback from that and us wearing in content, we'll determine, is it coming to the site? So maybe. Bunch of different color options though, which we're super excited about those. I actually have a like coffee brown one. There's a navy, like a washed navy that I think Brad has. Um, and yeah, what's sick about those is like I showed it last week, I think. But what's sick about them is the what you call it. The lettering is felt on it, which is sweet. I can't make it to the opening, but I'm playing in the battle. Will I still get my first 100 item? Yes, Braden, just email us. When we send you the email with like the details of this weekend or of Friday, respond and let us know, and we'll make sure to bring you your commemorative card. We can make that happen. The demand is there for youth, but it just doesn't sell once you make it. Well, then the demand wasn't there, some would argue. Are we still accepting people to the creator coaching thing you all started? No, we're not. We're what is this, 4 months into it now? 4 sessions, and the 4th session is Thursday. But no, it's locked up. It's locked up. I wondered if that brown one you had on the couple warehouse videos ago was one. They're sick. I'd take 2. That was one, and yeah, could be excited. AI chatbot for the website named ConCon could be fun. Corey said, any recommendations on a good area to stay in when we visit Worlds? So Forest is going to be closest to the action. So if you can find an Airbnb in Forest, Virginia, you're basically guaranteed to be within like 10 minutes of both courses. Honestly, I would imagine a lot of people in the area are going to be Airbnb in their house that weekend. You might be able to find one like at Ivy Hill. But realistically, there's not a bad area to really be in. Because Forest, you're gonna be close to everything. If you go out towards Bedford, you might be like 20 minutes away from some of the courses, but that's not that bad. And then if you're in Lynchburg, the farthest away you could be is probably like 25. So Lynchburg, Bedford, Forest. If you're trying to be closest to the action, I would say Forest. But if you're not doing Airbnb, you're just doing a hotel. Pretty much all the hotels are on Wards Road, and that's like 15 minutes for both courses. And your Wards Road, you're going to be right at Target. You will, when is it? August? I think it might be move-in weekend or close to it for college. So I would book up your hotel sooner rather than later. But yeah, if you're on Wards Road, food's all right there. You're like 15 minutes from both courses. So Wards Road, Forest, but really, as long as you're in Bedford, Lynchburg, or Forest, you're going to be fine. So, all right, we're going to take one more question, and then we're going to wrap it up and have a meeting in a little bit. And then we got to film 2 videos today and see how our arms are doing. So, final question, whichever one comes in next. I really appreciate everyone's feedback on the product page redesign. And that's going to be super helpful over the next few weeks of going through. Sorry, Patrick, I will not be restarting. You can restart as soon as we're done. You can just scroll back. But yeah, really appreciate the product page redesign feedback. Don't forget to foundation care. Don't forget about foundation care, now included on all US based purchases. So super excited about that. If you shop at foundationdisc.com, and then yeah, grand opening April 12th, Friday. All right, no real questions rolling in, so we're gonna wrap it up. That's gonna be it. Appreciate you all. I have been doing the behind the scenes vlog of the move. The move's just not fully done and set up yet. So once we're fully set up and everything, then on my YouTube channel, we'll have the behind the scenes like vlog of the whole move. But yeah, super exciting times here at Foundation. Appreciate you all being along for the ride, and we'll see you again next week for another little behind the scenes update. Appreciate it.